Dear viewers of the Tom Photo channel, you have probably filmed and photographed in the presence of LED lights and noticed some less than perfect results. You might have seen the annoying blinking of lights in your videos, also called flicker or strobing. In photos, some of the LED lights that were actually switched on may appear only partially on in your photo, or even entirely dark. In this video, I'll tell you what's going on and how to easily fix that with your camera settings. The flicker happens because the current of the AC electrical system fluctuates. This causes the LED lights to turn on and off very rapidly. It is so rapid that our eyes don't see it, but cameras with shorter shutter speeds pick it up. It might happen that when the camera snaps its image, the light happens to be off, so to say. The frequency of this on and off behavior depends on where you live. I live in the EU, and here we use a 50 Hz electrical system. Many parts of the world use 60 Hz. With 50 Hz, the lights turn on 100 times every second, 2 times 50 Hz. And with 60 Hz, it is 120 times every second, or 2 times 60 Hz. This is because in one full cycle, which is 1 Hz, the voltage rises from 0 to a positive peak, back to 0, then to a negative peak, and finally returns to 0. In video, you need to make sure that each frame captures the same amount of light, so the LEDs appear equally bright throughout. The light behaves like a sine function, an oscillation. You want each frame to capture the same oscillations and not cut them differently for each frame. This means that you need to sync your recording process. You need the shutter speed or frame rate to be a number derived from the electrical frequency, in my case 50, by dividing or multiplying this number by an integer. So for a 50 Hz system, numbers like 25, 50, 100, 150, or 200 are good. For a 60 Hz system, numbers like 30, 60, 120, 180, or 240 are good. Not all LED flicker strictly follows the 2x frequency pattern because this depends on the LED driver circuitry. Some LEDs may introduce harmonics or non-linearities that could result in more complex flicker behavior. Very fast shutter speeds are not typically used in video. We usually use 24, 25, 30, 50, or 60 frames per second for normal videos. This value depends on the frame rate and is usually twice the frame rate. For example, if your frame rate is 25, the best shutter speed would be 50 to give you the nicest looking footage in terms of motion blur. Here are some lights filmed at 30 frames per second with a shutter speed of 60. This is also how I filmed today's video, by the way. You see very ugly flicker because my electrical system is 50 Hz. But let's change the shutter speed to 50 and the flicker goes away. Let's change the frame rate to 25 and the flicker goes away as well. To be doubly sure, you can change the frame rate to 25 and the shutter speed to 50, and there's no flicker as expected. When both the frame rate and shutter speed are 25 or both are 50, you don't see any flicker either. Yes, these two are videos, not photos. You cannot easily tell because there's no flicker and nothing moves in the video. If you live in a 60 Hz region, such as North America, a good frame rate and shutter speed pairs are 30 and 60, 30 and 30, 60 and 60. Of these values, the 30 and 60 pair is the most logical to choose. Just like with my 50 Hz electrical system, I would choose 25 and 50. I should add that low-cost LEDs might still flicker due to suboptimal driver design, even with the best camera settings. Also note that as a videographer, you cannot choose just any combination you like. The shutter speed needs to be equal to or shorter than the frame rate. For example, a frame rate of 60 and a shutter speed of 30 will not work, because with such a high frame rate, there won't be enough time for such a long shutter speed. You take 60 frames every second, but want to expose the camera during each shot for 1/30th of a second. This is not mathematically possible. There is not enough time for such long exposure. Remember the good old times when tungsten lights or incandescent bulbs were used. With those, you didn't have to worry about flicker because they were simply constantly heated. Their thermal inertia smoothes out the fluctuations in light output. So another alternative for you as a filmmaker is to switch to non-flickering lights, such as tungsten lights. Some video makers do exactly that. A lot of modern videographers actually use LED lights that are flicker-free because they use high-quality drivers or operate on DC power. In general, LEDs powered by AC systems often include circuitry such as rectifiers and capacitors that smooth the current, reducing flicker. Let's also talk about photography. Indeed, LEDs also affect the selection of your photography settings. I took this photo at a shutter speed of 280, which is 1/280 seconds, and noticed that part of the structure was dark, although in real life it was not. It turns out that these lights were flickering a bit out of sync with each other. I caught their different designs with my camera. I have a large plate-style LED light. Let me photograph that with different shutter speed settings to see what the lamp is really hiding. You'll see that it consists of horizontal lights that flicker at slightly different times. The different shutter speeds dissect this situation for us. It turns out that the camera is a really good analytical tool for experiments. I'll give you more examples in my future videos where you can use your camera to measure something, so stay tuned. For photographers, the solution here is quite simple. Simply use a long enough shutter speed to make sure that you capture all the LEDs when they're on. Give those LED lamps enough time to do their flickering to get a nice and uniform shot. So under LED lights, you need to think about more aspects than exposure, white balance, and other common settings. You also need to know where in the world you are. Thanks a lot for watching. If you found today's video useful, please consider subscribing and liking because it helps me develop my channel. I wish you happy filming and happy photography. See you soon. Goodbye.